Barataria San Juan? UNC, are you in the house? Thank you so much, MP Saddam, and the team here in Barataria San Juan for this beautiful outdoor meeting. Does it feel good? You could have been locked down somewhere in your house. It's such a lovely environment, Saddam. Thank you and your team for putting this together. As I say good evening to all our beautiful people who are here, let me thank the chairpersons. Nazimul is a veteran, you know him. Alderman Nazimul Mohammed, give him a round of applause. I understand Councillor Ahmed get rechristened tonight. He is now Amitabh Bachchan. Thanks to Julian John. All the powerful speakers on this platform tonight, Alderman Karim Baird, and our sympathies always with you and your family for that tragic incident in your life. MP Khadija Amin, MP Saddam Hussein, and Senator Jillian John, all of you, powerful team of speakers here tonight. And the MPs have joined us, senators who are here, activists all. I say good evening. This meeting is our first for this year. Did you realize that? This is our first Monday night meeting for this new year. And we did something else. We began the anti-crime talks, which I'll share with you, which I thought was really, really important, that we began the year with that push, because that is the #1 issue in our country today. Our country now is in a state of anarchy. Citizens are terrified. Ministers of government, their families, they continue to enjoy life under heavily armed, taxpayer-funded security. Understand that, huh? Understand that they move around. You can't get a car, one car at the Barataria station here, but when you see them fellas roll down to Parliament, or they roll into the feds, you know how many vehicles are following them? You know how many armed security personnel? And who is paying for that? You, the taxpayers, we are paying for that. So they are heavily armed, heavily protected. That's why they don't care about the rest of you. They just do not care. This is why citizens are clamoring for their voices to be heard by the people in authority. Citizens want to speak about their experiences with crime. Citizens want to participate in fixing the crime crisis. They want to help. They want to contribute. They want to participate. I want to remind you, on November 20th, 2023, at a news conference, the others on the other side, they falsely claimed that the duty-elected UNC opposition was never serious about anti-crime talks to deal with the crime scourge in our country. They said we were not serious. We were never serious. They say we get a political bonanza and that we are celebrating. What kind of sick people will think that anybody will celebrate a crime scourge in our country? How unreal are they and off the ground they are? So they want to blame the UNC and say, we don't care about the crime, we're happy with the crime. I want to tell you tonight, I vex. I am blasted, vexed, and fed up of this wicked, incompetent government. We all and we speak out. So I remind you of that. Through our anti-crime talks, we have rejected and refuted this false statement that the UNC doesn't care about the crime. That is what they want to give to the population. That they are critical, we are critical of the government. We are supporters of criminals, murderers, the rapists, the gun and drug smuggling people. Indeed, they are emboldened by this PNM, not by the UNC. They are emboldened under the PNM because the PNM does nothing. They do not care. No one delights in the homicide stats of human beings, especially as Kadia shared with us, so many innocent children who have perished due to continuing crimes in our country. So if you're angry with me for saying I blasted Vex, I am even more angry than you. And we will repeat, the UNC is very upset, very angry, and will do everything we can to deal with crime in this country. And that is why I began the year with the anti-crime talks, because the government had no intention of engaging in anything real to deal with crime in our country. They had no intention. And they still have none. They have no intention. Except to do what? Blame everybody else. You remember the playbook I brought to you last year? This is so still relevant, is it not? Rowley's propaganda, the ultimate disinformation handbook. It's all over and over. It's replay, press replay, press replay, press replay. So, here it is. I want to repeat it to remind you in this new year, because they're doing the same thing again. Number one, blame the UNC. Number two, blame Kamla. Number three, blame the people. Number four, cry race. Cry race. Lie for everything. And when you're finished doing that, number six, repeat over and over and over and over again. This is the PNM playbook, remember it. And they have started again with the same replay, press replay. I say again that the UNC and other stakeholders are willing, ready, and able to work with government and other stakeholders to combat crime, which not just threatens our peace and our stability, our security, but also our economic standing. In our last crime talk, we had a person who presented, one of the panelists, telling us about the damage to the economy that we are going through because of the crime. And we know it, we see it. You know, I caused an advertisement to be placed through the parliament. There are several vacancies in the office of the leader of the opposition. And you will not believe, over 1,000 persons, over 1,000 persons have applied. And there's just about 3 jobs. Over 1,000 persons, you know. Why is that? You think they really want to come and work with Kamla? They just want to work. They want jobs, because there are no jobs in the country for people. So I know in the past we had advertised many years ago, we never got that number of applications. About 1,000 applications today. So Anjali sent me the listing, and we'll have to shortlist and interview as the case may be. So no creation, nothing coming out of this wicked, incompetent government. You know, since April last year, you know, I proposed openly, publicly, let us have bipartisan crime talks with government, because all people can talk about is the anxiety and the fear of the crime. I take comfort in the incredible results we are achieving from our anti-crime talks, that people really want to contribute and help. These talks have been so successful that many people are starting to borrow some of our ideas, and we are happy for that on a smaller scale. We are willing, ready, and able to work with anyone who wants to deal with the problems we are facing. We are activists, remember, and advocates against crime and criminality. Even as we are being murdered, people are being murdered on an average of 45 persons per month. JJ told us about 1 in every 16 hours. There's about 45 persons. These are human beings, you know, not animals being slaughtered. These are humans being slaughtered at the rate of about 45 persons per month under this government. You and your UNC are walking the talk. We are not just talking the talk, we are walking the walk. We are activists, advocates against crime and criminality. And we are getting endless support from hundreds of thousands all across our beloved land. Hundreds of thousands have witnessed with their own eyes and saw the huge turnout at our crime talks. Some of you would have seen in La Jolla, the first one we did. The hall was overflowing. People were all outside. And by the time we got to San Fernando, I think that was last week, Monday, the hall just could not contain them. They were inside, they filled the hall, and they were overflowing outside of the hall. I don't know where we'll get a bigger venue. The only bigger venue we can get is when we hit the streets, hit the ground, and we go public to campaign against this wicked, incompetent government. And may I advise you, our next anti-crime talk will be on the 19th. In other words, enjoy your carnival and be safe. After carnival, Monday the 19th, we will resume with our anti-crime talks. The venue will be shared with you in due course. And the reason for that, we're looking for bigger venues, but those are sort of short in supply at this time. So thousands are coming out. As I said, hundreds came out of La Jolla. The hall could not accommodate everyone, and I apologize for that. And in San Fernando, we had over 1,200 persons registered, actually signed to say, I am here in these talks. And again, others who did not sign, who are outsiders, overflowing in San Fernando. We in the UNC know that this is what you want to heal our beloved country. And we made it happen. So as I say, we talk the talk and we walk the walk. We said we will do the anti-crime talks. And yes, we have carried out that promise and will continue to do so throughout the length and breadth. Grandy, you beware. Kenwin, beware. Be ready. After we do the 19th, the next anti-crime talk will be in your region. So start looking for a venue for us, please. Kenwin and team from Grandy. We proved, as I say, we could bring out everyone together without fanfare, without pomp, without bragging. We made it happen across the political spectrum. And I saw one or two detractors, I don't know why I even talk about them, but just to clarify and clear your brains. One or two detractors put up, people came in maxi taxi. How you want them to come? You want them to come by aeroplane? You want them to come in scooter? They came in maxis because they had huge numbers. They wanted to come. They come in maxis. What's wrong with that? The majority of the traveling population in our country, how they travel? Maxi taxi. Just a few. Yeah, yes, Melvin. Yes. As soon as he lands, he flies out again. You're sure right. So don't get chained up, as they say. People came in the maxis. What did we do? Did UNC go and kidnap people and put them in the maxi? The people came there voluntarily. And in their various parts that they came from, they get together and say, hey, we'll take a maxi. So don't get chained up by detractors. Let's thank all those who came out last Monday. As I thank you here tonight for coming in, Barataria San Juan, as we continue our campaign against this wicked government. We made it happen across the political spectrum, I said, and we will continue to do that. Changes must be made very clearly. I know JJ said, don't say move Hines, or don't move this one. We must make changes at national security management level. And you see, I'm going to say tonight, because I know tomorrow when Rowley come, why do you think he put his meeting for Tuesday? Why did Tuesday comes after Monday? Yeah, so you're going to listen to us now. Mr. Rowley, I'd say, you start, move Hines, move Erla, move the AG, the line AG, and when you're done move, you move yourself and move all of them. Just go. Just go. Don't come with lies tomorrow in your trumped up press conference tomorrow. Let me remind you again, we were the ones months ago, since April last year, we asked Rowley to meet with us. We approached him to work with the team and his team. We asked him kindly to be part of the team. We did that. It was all over the news that your UNC made that move. He refused to meet us and left hundreds more to die. Our anti-crime talks, that means your voices, our voices, will change our landscape. Our talks have already changed the landscape. As I say in the morning, there will be this government press conference on national security. Tomorrow, Rowley, if you name man, move, as I said, Hines. Move the AG, line AG. Move the Commissioner of Police. And move the Police Service Commission and look for a proper Commissioner of Police. And as I said before, when you're done, pack your bags and go. Move out. Move out. This is the only way you can show you're serious. And if you're a man, call the election now and let the people decide. Let the people choose whether they will stand for you and vote for you to continue to be incompetent and inept, or whether they will put a UNC government that we will stand our ground, we'll fight the criminals, and we'll fight all that is wrong. I listened to the Calypso Fiesta yesterday. Some really good songs, by the way, but I can't choose. I'm not a judge. But I heard one young lady singing, and I agree with her, you know. She said they talk about stand your ground with respect to arming personnel and so on. She said, but she is standing her ground. She is standing her ground against everything that is wrong. Do we agree with her? Stand your ground against everything that is wrong. So it's crime, it's a corruption, it is a poverty, it's a non-creation of jobs, and every other thing that you can imagine. Let's stand our ground together against all that is wrong. As leaders, we owe it to the people, our supporters who elected us into office, to take TNT safely forward. That is why tonight I'm inviting the Prime Minister to join our anti-crime talks. Join us. Come out and meet the real people of our country. Come out and hear from the people who elected you into office. And you're welcome, as I say, to join us anytime, any place, anywhere, to listen to real people. One thing we must have in common is our love for the people in our country. And again, I say, Prime Minister, come to the public talks. And if you don't want to come to ours, well, start your own crime talks, anti-crime talks. Why don't you do it? Why you want to run Washington to listen to them? JJ's put a nice thing. I won't go back with the blinking and whatever. But why are you going foreign? Why don't you talk to your people here? The people who elected you to put you in office. Why? Why are you afraid to face the public? I understand last week or sometime they're busy meeting down in San Fernando and the promenade. What happened? Total cancel, last minute just cancelled. Collapsed. You will not face people. That's why tonight I say, join us, and if you don't want to join us, well, do your crime talks, anti-crime talks. Let love for TNT triumph. Let us win this war against these criminals. I remain hopeful for a positive reply, Mr. Prime Minister, and I hope to see you soon. Not on a plane, but to see you in the public and in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. So let's come to Madam Christopher now. You know, we supported that lady, remember? People tell me, Kamla, you're crazy. Why? We gave her support in the Parliament as a first woman Commissioner of Police. Give her a chance, let her go and let her be. And now she cannot protect citizens, but seems to be now on a crusade to take away legal firearms from existing holders of FULs. Imagine she tells the country, mentioned before already, she has issued 100 FULs in 13 months out of 25,000 applications. 100 out of 25,000 applications. In a most embarrassing appearance before that JSC that this country has ever seen. Now, is this just incompetence or laziness? Or is it that this is, what is the word, preaching the PNM gospel? Is it about preaching the gospel of the PNM? Because the PNM is saying, no, do not give any law-abiding citizens firearms. Is that the gospel of 25,000? You will tell this country 100. You dealt it. We don't have the 100 were given, but she dealt with 100. A blind man could see when this commissioner of police was put into place. What did the police service commission ask? How did they interview? How did they make a decision? They also duty to tell us why they chose Madam Christopher. They were the ones who chose her. And at the end of the day, in the Parliament, you said, okay, give it a chance. This commissioner of police seems to be preaching, as I say, the gospel of the PNM. And is that because the UNC has committed to giving legal firearms to law-abiding citizens? That, as I say, this seems to be the policy of the PNM and not of the commissioner. Now, how far back do you want to go? Madam Christopher is going to be in the courthouse very soon again about issuing legal firearms license. It seems, up to today, I'm told, 99.9% of gun violence in the country is with what? Illegal firearms. 99.9%. Gary Griffith issued 6,800 firearms when he was Commissioner of Police, which brought us about 2,266 firearms annually. Other commissioners before Gary issued about an average of 700 per year. So the 3,400 issued to qualified civilians, you know what percentage that is of the population? 0.25 of the population. So it's like a mass arming of people with guns and legal firearms. Half of the firearms Griffith issued were for guess who? Half were for past and present members of the protective services, police, soldiers, air guard, coast guard, prisons, customs and immigration, and fire officers. So they're not given out willy-nilly as they want you to believe. The other half Griffith issued was for qualified civilians, as I said, 3,400 or 0.25 of the population. So tens of thousands of people applied for firearms before, during Griffith's tenure, and commissioners before and after Griffith, they have all been faced with a backlog of applications. Griffith did not, I'm told, have the common courtesy to acknowledge applicants. So people applied and they wouldn't send you, okay, received. Backlog of 25, but not even a little piece of paper. Maybe you have no paper, because I'm told the police are really hard pressed for toilet paper, printing materials, and everything else, including cars at the stations. So today, Commissioner Erla Christopher, so I'm told you she's facing numerous lawsuits from the public for persons seeking at least an acknowledgement or reasons for refusal of the FUL. If Griffith had remained in office and continued to issue FULs at the rate that he was doing, it would have taken, guess what, 12 years to just clear the backlog, just to clear it. And that would not include any new persons who would be applying. Despite the numerous incidents of the use of legal firearms to protect innocent lives and property, the new instructions coming out of the TTPS state that every 3 years, persons who have a license for the firearms, they have to reapply for an FUL. Do you imagine what that means? It means that the commissioner can decide to issue it or not to issue it. Take it away, you're right, not to issue. Every 3 years, you now have to apply. It seems to me that this is a blatant and underhanded plan to execute the government's agenda against legal firearms and their owners. This new system by the TTPS and the commissioner is arbitrary and does not seek disqualification for reasonable grounds. For anything, this commissioner got up in the morning and she said, I don't like Arnold face. I'm not giving it to him. But I like Meru face, so I'll give Meru. There should be reasonable grounds to refuse, not because I like you, I don't like you, Karim. It should be reasonable. And then it goes on a political platform, Keith Rowley stated they found 10,000 FUL applications. This is in line with the 25,000 backlogs. But he went further to claim that people had to pay $50,000 to get their firearm. You see what he does? Prime Minister of disinformation. That's what I read for you from the book. If you have this knowledge, Prime Minister, that people paying $50,000 is a big racket, is a criminal enterprise, why is it up to today not one person has been charged? Why don't you take that information to the police and make your report? You know why? Because you just come on a platform of propaganda with no evidence, with no facts. So if it is Emailgate all over again, yes, disinformation. And if persons are found to violate the law, they should be charged. But then Rowley will go to a station. If he does intend so to do, he does not. He just talks, chase your brain, chain you up. When you hear things people say, he just chases up some people's brains. And let us wake up and smell the coffee and understand. So go and make a report. And if you make a false report, then you should be charged for wasting police time. Should be charged. Don't make these grand statements. So tomorrow come and tell us, where's your evidence that people paying, how much I said? $50,000 he told us. $50,000, where is the evidence? Bring it. Bring it. In an attempt to further their agenda, this is the PNM I'm speaking of. Remember, a man was abducted from Barbados. You all remember? He was a firearms dealer, legally. They abducted this man in Barbados. Whom? TTPS officers. How they reached? Who gave them permission? They would have had to get approval from senior government officials to go and kidnap this man, abduct him, and bring him back to Trinidad. And up to today, that person, nor any other person responsible for the abduction, they have not been investigated. P&M Police Service leadership, corrupt and incompetent. The agenda seems to be about making an issue of firearms issued under Griffith. It is a non-issue because, as I said before, issued to civilians just 0.25 of the population. Then the audits, nothing from these audits, nothing found, nothing new. And then now we have this new policy for renewal of the license every 3 years, all aimed at denying firearms to law-abiding citizens. The government's agenda of going after legal firearms is hypocritical. It is the same Keith Rowley and company that we all mentioned to you. They requested many firearms for their friends and family. You want me to call name? I'll leave Gary Griffith to call those names for you because he has the evidence. For friends and family, including requesting a dealership for someone to sell more guns in Tobago. One of your friend and family, Gary, I call upon you to call names and we will whistle. When the right name is called, we will whistle. Today I call on government officials, P&M officials, and their families to give up their personal firearms license. You don't want any law-abiding people to get, well, you give up yours. But that is a hypocrisy. They're charlatans. They will never give up their own. I know they're hypocrites. They will never do it. Because what? They care only about themselves, their friends, and their family. I repeat tonight, when you put us in government, the UNC will give law-abiding citizens legal firearms. And again, if you are against that, nothing is wrong. You don't have to agree with everything. If you are against such a thing happening, well, just don't apply. Simple as that. Don't apply. And this reminds me, when them criminals come in your home and they invade your home, make tea and let them sit down and drink tea. They can't protect themselves. So welcome the criminal and give them tea to drink. And I tell you, I want to remind you how the P&M and some of their supporters were against the laptops we wanted to give the children. You all remember? They were so against it. But I'll tell you, not a single one of them wrote a letter saying that they don't want their child to get the laptop. Not one, That is hypocrisy of the P&M. Not one between 2010 and 2015. Everyone we gave the laptop to what? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And who took it away? When the P&M came, Rowley and the P&M took it away from the children. Khadija almost did a little obscene word here with what was it? About the devices and so on. I will not try to repeat it in case I get it wrong. BYOD, bring your own device, but you had some others too, which I'll leave alone. And so they complain about the UNC programs. They're always in line, however, to apply. That is the hypocrisy. So if you are against giving legal firearms to law-abiding citizens, do not apply. Simple. You all agree? Just don't apply. You don't want it. Nobody forcing you to take it. Apply if you want it, and if you meet the criteria, the UNC will work towards giving these legal firearms to people. Tonight I want to tell you, I feel for all the police officers in our country. I know that they feel very insulted with the 4%, which you are forced to accept from government. It is very unfair. To add to the 4% insult, many of the police officers have not gotten what they were promised. I'm told some have got the back pay, but many have not got the back pay. We feel your pain. We feel your pain. This government, again, before Christmas, promising all this back pay before Christmas. Yeah, and everybody say, yeah, great. And then what happens? They always fail to keep their promises. Back pain, yes. But back pain instead. The government does not understand or care about you. Again, I promise you that all members of the protective services, we will take care of you. We'll ensure you get what you deserve. A UNC government that secures our protectors, that is what we will be. We will make sure you get your pay increases. And you remember when we had a time in office when we couldn't conclude the negotiations for the police pay, What did I do? What did my government do? We gave everyone cash, cold hard cash, $1,000, which they are still receiving today. They are tax-free and they're still getting that today. Remember that. Cash in hand, not an insulting 4%. And after that, we went on to increase the pay for the police officers. I tell you, when you give us the chance to be your government, we will make sure we have a competent Minister of National Security and a competent Commissioner of Police. I'm also going to ensure we get the license for our police, prisons, and military officers. We will take care of you, all of you, and ensure after you leave your workplace, you can protect yourself and your family. We put these police officers, they run out there defending everyone. As Saddam said, yes, there are a few bad apples, also but some bad oranges. But majority of the officers are hard work and they put their lives on the line at risk every single day. So they should be protected, their families should be protected. That is the future we have for you. And I ask you, our brave men and women who make up the TTPS, do not stay home and protest this carnival. I implore you, do not stay home and protest over the carnival. Your citizens need you out there on the streets. Our nation needs you. Tonight I respectfully and humbly ask our officers to report to work during the carnival season and keep the citizens safe. Let us thank those officers as we ask them to come out to work in this carnival season. We have visitors for carnival. We have our sons and daughters who will be out enjoying their youth and the young at heart. Your nation needs you, and I'm asking you not to stay home to protest in this season. Go to work knowing we will remember how you put our citizens in front of your own needs. We will remember. We need you to protect us all during this season. And I will ensure that you are all protected under the next UNC government. Together, after this general election, my government and our protectors and law enforcement will bring back security to TNT. And as I close, I look out and ask you to look out for the PNM campaign. They've already started it, I shared with you. Our talks have already caused a major PNM scramble. It has caused the government to hurriedly roll out the PNM's upcoming general election campaign. Be warned and be aware. They didn't plan to let out their campaign so early, but our anti-crime talks have them scrambling to appear relevant. So let's look out for their campaign. Their next general campaign is to spend millions across media saying that hundreds of thousands of Trinidadians and Tobagonians are not patriotic. Point one. They do it all the time. We are not patriotic. Their campaign will be that people are bad talking the government. Their campaign, as always, is to try and divide the country. Their plan is to try and alienate hundreds of thousands of the electorate across TNT. Here's the upcoming general election campaign. They'll be saying that the hundreds of thousands who are in pain, who are hurting, who are fearful, who are anxious and emotional, they said these people are bad talking the government. Look out for that campaign. Look at them closely. They have already started. Kamla bad talking the government. The UNC bad talking the government. Farley bad talking the government. Johnny Abraham bad talking the government. So the families of those who are raped and murdered and missing are bad talking the government too in their book. The thousands of small businessmen and women trying to make ends meet and who can't get foreign exchange, they too bad talking the government in their book. The thousands upon thousands of workers who want fair wages, according to their campaign, they are bad talking the government. Hundreds of thousands are so angry because this government are greedy for your property tax. Those persons who are bad talking the government, bad talking the government. And if thousands are truthfully saying that Rowley's policies have caused them to be paupers and scroungers, that too, they say, is bad talking the government. But let them come, because we all know that between bullets and body bags, there is no right choice with the PNM. Between bubble and bad mind, there is no right choice. Between bullying and bludgeoning, there is no right choice. It is only crazy people We'll call 8 years and a half, going on to half in August will be 8.5 years. Well, no, in August will be 10 years. We are now in, February, so about 8.5 years. There is no right choice. As I say, only crazy people will now say the right choice is after these 8.5 years of treating people wrong. Call that a right choice. And as I speak of government propaganda, I will not speak further on the dragon gas. Yesterday our MPs went to see, as they say, on that, and we had enough, and other MPs will speak on it, that dragon gas deal. But I do want to make one point about that dragon issue. I would be very happy if that dragon gas deal could come through. Why? It will benefit everybody in Trinidad and Tobago. I think everybody will be happy. So don't say I'm bad-mouthing the dragon gas deal. I'm not. But Prime Minister, I could say a lot more, but I'll have to do one thing. Go to Maduro. He's your partner. Dancing in Congo line and thing, remember? He's your partner. You know how we can rescue this dragon gas deal, Prime Minister? Your friend could help you and help Trinidad and Tobago. Go and look for Maduro and tell him to have free and fair elections in Venezuela. And then the US will not reimpose the sanctions on that dragon gas deal. That's one thing you can do. And you can do it. He's your friend, your dancing partner. Ask him. Help him. And that is one way, Prime Minister, if you really care about dragon gas deal, and we all do care to get that extra gas, go up to Maduro and tell him, just call a free and fair election. You all agree? Once that is all that the US wanted, free and fair elections. What's wrong with free and fair elections? You have a problem with that? Well, I think you have a problem with free and fair elections. Is this one coming? I'm starting from today. We will write to every international organization, every single one, to call for international observers. Let the party get it together, and let's start from today. We begin that. We want free and fair elections. Don't follow your partner Maduro. Don't want free and fair elections, which has now shut down your dragon gas deal. He's your friend. Conga line dancing partner. It's good. That's one thing you can do to save this deal. The second thing you can do, and it's not an either or, you can do both. We have long-standing trading partnerships with the US of A. We have a long history of very amiable, amicable relationships in trade and otherwise. You can also speak to the US and ask them if they're kind enough to make an exception with respect to the dragon gas deal. So you can work on both ends. Your great diplomacy, you say, what is the best salesman for Trinidad and Tobago? So far, I haven't seen one thing that you have been able to sell well anywhere you went abroad. So try both. Get your partner Maduro, just call free and fair election. Imagine they ban the opposition leader from contesting a seat. I mean, how can that be free and fair? You're so afraid the lady, you're just afraid the woman, you will not let her fight. Free and fair, and if she wins, she wins. That is what democracy is about. And after our last election, I will tell you, the whole of the map of Trinidad was yellow. It is a color of democracy. It is a color of democracy. So after that last local, that map became so yellow. And Maduro, remember, has broken his promises before. He broke his promise about his free and fair elections. That's how the US said, okay, go ahead with dragon gas deal. He had promised free and fair, but now he's clamping down. And you know what I'm worried for? I'm worried for our brothers and sisters in Guyana. Because Maduro will break that promise too. You know why? Because every time he has an election, he raises this bogey that he's going to invade Guyana. That's what he does. Every election, going to invade Guyana. He'll break that promise too. So don't be surprised in these coming months of the election, starts to threaten Guyana again. I wonder what Mr. Rowley will then do. Will he stand with Guyana? Or will he stand with his Dasse partner? We wait to see. So, as I close here tonight, again, I thank Saddam. May I have some water, please? Can I thank Saddam for a great meeting tonight and all the speakers? Is he here already? We had a great meeting, and you see what's happening? The wind is so nice. It's just blowing away every piece of paper. Can I get my piece of paper, please? So let's see Maduro will break his promises. He's already broken it with respect to the elections. And let's see if he'll break his promise that was brokered by that great Prime Minister in St. Vincent, Mr. Gonzalez, Prime Minister Gonzalez. See if he'll break that. And my closing remarks, UNC has always meant unity. Unity is in our DNA. Remember how we got our name, UNC, from the ANC in South Africa from Mandela, and the other one from India. Our great name is unity. Unity is in our DNA. We all know this, and where we are tonight in this melting pot that is Barataria and San Juan is a true reflection of unity, and I can see it in your faces here tonight, of that diversity and what we say, unity in diversity. Saddam's supporters will tell you that Barataria has become a true hub for unity, business, education, sport, and culture. In the last LG, as I said, we taught them a lesson about unity. Almost the entire map of Trinidad was the color of true democracy. Everybody knows that true democracy is true unity, as that map was turned yellow. That is the color of democracy. That is the color of unity. You know why? Sunshine does not discriminate. When the sun rises upon everyone. And that is the true color of unity and democracy. Sunshine does not discriminate. This is your UNC for unity. Your UNC for unity. Enjoy your carnival. No matter how you celebrate it, some will stay home, some will go to the beach, some will go elsewhere. But many, many, many will be journeying into the towns and cities for carnival time. Please stay safe, keep safe, be safe, as we look forward to seeing you again on the 19th for our third anti-crime talks. God bless you all. Know I love you as always, and I have a lot of love you. Right? Somebody told me they saw me recently. Somebody told a friend of mine that, you know, it's the first time I'm seeing this lady in person. Well, she's so small. I said, well, that's a compliment. You know, we'd all like to feel we're looking trim and slim. She said, but she's so tiny, but she's fight. And when you watch her on TV, she's stronger as ever. Let's go strong as ever. Be strong, UNC, and proud. UNC and proud. God bless you all. Go home safe.
So who feel the black? Who feel the white? I don't know. But it's settled tomorrow night. Who feel the wrong? Who feel the right? Come and go. And all who feel the too bright. Let me jump up. Let me wind up. Party non-stop. Ramaje dingo leke we come to play mass. Every creed and class. Don't let nothing pass. Like a ready TV, all the love inside the way. Uptown and ghetto. Feeling the tempo. Soca and Kaiso. It's party day like so. Soon as we land, fun is the plan. We like to jam like the man.